how much follow-up is typically required before it's like, okay, now we're seeing results? Like we followed up for 6 months. Now it's starting to happen. Or like, at what point can you tell if this is truly a dead lead? Like nothing's going to happen here. Let's stop following up with them. Is there a way to even measure that?
It's such a great question.
Thanks.
So here's my pitch, and I have my company REI Optimize. Over the past couple weeks, I've been working with my friend Jason. He is a conversion content specialist. So had coffee with him a couple times, told him, he's like, oh my God, like you need to like really write some converting content. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. What's converting content? So we went through it. We're creating a company called REI Boost. And so what we're doing now is this exact thing. Now this is for land investors that have a team, they're executing marketing, they're bringing in a significant amount of leads. They don't know what to do with all the leads that said they're not interested right now. Most real estate investors know how to attract leads. Some know how to manage them, but very few know how to follow up over time. I think it takes, on average for us, it's taken us about 6 months to see them come back around. This area in Nevada, we ran out of texts, not ran out, but we texted everyone 2 or 3 times about a month ago. And we've been living off of the people coming back around from the automated sequences of like, you know what, actually, yeah, like let's have a conversation about that. We're in a huge time of uncertainty with our market, with our economy, like day to day things can change for people. We had a guy that said absolutely not in September. He came back around in February. We're seeing that all the time. So I think 6 months is a healthy amount of time for a situation to change, a financial situation to change. But if you're really going to be there, I would say a year, 2 years. And in terms of content, educational, entertaining. Don't be these are the 4 steps to selling your land. Like be a person. Invest in a copywriter, be a little funny, make some quirks, like be yourself. And if that's not your vibe, if you're very professional, buttoned up all around your website, then sure, you can make your content like that. But I think in this world, we have to differentiate ourselves because again, we're competitive. It's overgrown. If you're the guy that's sending one mailer, that might work. I'm going to be touching them 7 times from every different angle and following up with them twice a month for 3 years. Who might they call back a year later when they are considering selling? The gal that's kind of followed up or the guy that sent them the one letter? Now, again, I've got bigger margins, I've got a team, I've got marketing budget, and I've got time to build this content out. But we've seen a significant return from building the follow-up sequences.
Yeah. And when we're talking about content, so this might be kind of a foreign concept to a lot of land investors who are used to just sending out a letter and that's their content. Like that's it. So what you're talking about is every single time you follow up with somebody, like you have to have something new and interesting to say instead of just like, hey, you ready to sell yet? Like it's more than that. You got to like kind of develop a relationship. And that can be kind of a huge job to like just have the creativity and yeah. So how does that work?
Well, that's why this is hilarious. So this is exactly what happened with Solterra about 4 months ago. I was like, I had some content put together of the process of working with us, the 4 documents needed to sell your property, factors that affected land value. It was okay. We redid everything. And and Jason even kept saying like, why don't you just, you write this, and then we'll come back. I just wasn't doing it because it goes to the back of my to-do list every time. He wanted a case study. He wanted a vendor profile on the title company that we work with. He wanted an interview with the attorney that we call. He wanted all these things. And I'm like, I'm literally never going to do this. So that's why we're creating services around it with professional copywriters, and we literally will just interview. But let's talk about what a sequence is, what a follow-up sequence is. So a follow-up sequence is a series of messages or touches over a period of time. So we think of, that's why I love Fresh Sales. They have those automated sequences. So what you can do is you can say, typically the sequence starts when you ask somebody permission to send them something. And that's why I like to have some pillar content. If you have an area that you own, let's say you own Costilla County, you should have a PDF of the 14 factors that affect land in Costilla County, Colorado. It is deep dive into Costilla County. You ask them, hey, let me follow up with this with you. Let me send it to you. The first email sends them that. 14 days later, maybe it's a little, hey, hi, hello. Did you read the PDF? I hope all is well. 14 days later, they get a case study of the last deal that you did in Costia. No numbers. You're not talking price, you're not talking anything. You're talking, how did you solve somebody's problem? They needed to close, they were moving, you closed in 30 days, you used a title company, it was a great experience. 14 days later, quick touch base, maybe it's a call. 14 days later, they get a article on the ways to minimize capital gains taxes on the sale of your property. That's a blog on your website. Maybe it's an unlisted YouTube video that you're sending, but it's also the body of the email. And then, of course, we keep going. These are all pieces of information. Think about, what questions are your sellers asking you? How do I go through probate? What do I do with inherited property? How do I sell my land quickly? What are the 4 hidden costs of selling land? Like, what are these things that your sellers are thinking about that you can proactively educate them on, so that they view you as a thought leader and they view you as a trustworthy resource?
Mm-hmm.